The Coaching Hour with Witumelo Tolakai
on Zoe Live Radio. www.zoeliveradio.co.za.
Good evening and welcome to the Coaching Hour. I'm your host, Khensani. Chauke. It's Tuesday night, the date night with me. Tuesday nights are the nights that we all come together and learn and hear from our coaches, from the professional workers. Some are doctors and some of them accountants. We have a lot of professionals, people who went to school to come and educate us, and we learn a lot from them. So tonight we are doing business finance. We are going to learn how to plan when it comes to finances in the business. We are going to do planning, budgeting, action, administration, taking accountability and reporting and all that. But tonight it's not all about me. I have a special guest. Her name is Brenda. So Brenda, I met Brenda, I think a month ago. What she does during the week, she has a show that is called Lunch and Learn. And I was so surprised. How do I lunch? How do I eat and learn at the same time? I'm telling you, I did attend the Lunch and Learn, and it was possible for me to have my lunch and listen to a coach who was there and learning more. I remember that we were speaking, I think that week, it was the week where we were speaking more about emotional intelligence, and they spoke about more emotional intelligence around the leadership in corporate space. And I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this show. So Brenda is going to tell us a lot about that. She's here tonight, guys. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And before I call on Brenda, go and grab a coffee and invite your friends. Get a pen and a notebook and come and relax and come and listen to what business finance is all about, what you can learn from it, and how it can help you as an entrepreneur. Now I'm going to call on Brenda. Good evening, Brenda, and how are you?
Good evening, Khensani. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Good evening. It's so good to have you. I'm so humble and honored of your presence. I know you are a very busy woman, and you are busy with all those files when it comes to our finances, the way we are so we're not organized. You're helping us to organize our finances and all that. So thank you so much for coming through tonight. And yeah, the viewers will be learning a lot, and the listeners. And who is Brenda?
All right. Thank you so much, Khensani. So Brenda is a founder or a business owner for Be Advisory. So Be Advisory, it's an innovative company, in accounting innovative company that offers accounting, finance-related services. So as a result of analyzing the issues or the challenges that most businesses have, we decided to come up with different options that we can offer our businesses for them to be sustainable. I think that's where also the Lunch and Learn was also born. So the services that we offer to our businesses, just to move them from one step to the other through sustainability, is offering them guidance or direction on how they can manage their taxes, how they can prepare their financial statements. Should they be required from the banks, or should they be required from the statutory institutions like your SARS? And also we take it a bit further as well to say, instead of us just coming in and assisting you want something, or when the banks want your financial statements, we actually offer outsourced accounting services to our clients, where we actually become your accountability partner. Why do I say that? Our objective is not necessarily to just do the work for you and then hand out the invoice and then that's it. But our objective is to ensure that you have an understanding of your business. Because if you look at, for those that have looked at their financial statements, there's usually a page that is called director's responsibility. So next time you open your financial statements, there's a page which says director's responsibility. If you read through that page, it's unfortunate most people just sign, but they don't really understand the implications of it. So according to companies, as a director, you have got a duty, and you've got a duty to make sure that you have integrity and you actually maintain the records of the company with due skill and care. So what it means is, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you're an accountant or not, but the responsibility rests upon you. So instead of just signing, what we are doing now is to educate you, teach you, show you, get you to a level of understanding, so that at least if something happens, you won't say, let me call my accountant to answer for me, but you are in a position of actually explaining the position of your business, and that's how you grow your business. So that's the accounting side of things. But then on the other side, we are also registered auditors. So we are chartered accountants and registered auditors. So we wear both hats. So on the other side, we are wearing the hat of the accountant, where we are actually preparing the records from scratch until we come up with a set of financials. And then on the other side, we are the overseers or the reviewers, and we wear the auditor's hat. So obviously the objective of the auditor is just to give a view or an opinion, to say this set of financial statements, do they give a true and fair view of the financial position of the business? So that's where we also sit in, depending with the nature of the business and the requirements of the client. So from that part, there are different services as well that we offer. It's not only auditing that is commonly known. They are what we call advisory services. And the main difference between the auditing and the accounting is, on the auditing side, you are giving an opinion. You are giving an assurance, but some of them you don't really give an assurance, but you are giving an opinion or an assurance to say, you know what, based on what we have seen, I think your things are in order, in accordance with the requirements of so and so. Because you remember, companies have got different regulatory authorities that they report to. So if it's an estate agent, you report to the EAB. If they're lawyers, they also report to theirs. Debtors, those that do debtors collection, they report to theirs. So in the position of the auditor, you're actually giving the opinion to say this is now fine, there are no issues. So those are the two sides that we sit in, being the auditor and the accounting. But in the middle, we also offer advisory services in general. For example, we offer what we call the CFO advisory role. We also, within the CFO advisory role, we are sitting in as your strategic partner. So instead of just coming in and preparing your financial statements, of coming in and preparing your management accounts, we are sitting together in your board, let's say in your board meeting. And then from there, we are actually looking at, okay, where do you want to take your business a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now? Okay, let's make sure that one or two or three things are in order. So we work with you from a strategic point of view. When you're looking at the strategic point of view, it's not only looking at it from the perspective of finance. You're looking at different areas. The processes, are they in order? The employees, are they aligned? What can we do to actually motivate our employees? What can we do to make sure that we've got the right systems in place, processes? Do we have clarity? Do you know where you are going to? So clarity is key for any business owner to move from one position to the other. So those are, in a nutshell, the range of services that we offer to our clients, depending with the needs that you have as an individual or as an entity, but mostly we deal with businesses.
Wow. You're doing a lot. So, Coach, before we go into finances, I want to find out from you, what inspired you to start Lunch and Learn?
Okay, so Lunch and Learn was born from the analysis. So based on the clients that we're working with, we realized that they were facing different challenges. And then we decided to take it a step further. So like I was saying earlier, to say, as a result of understanding the needs of our clients, because I believe at the end of the day, our role is actually to solve problems. That's our objective at the end of the day. So he said, okay, so how can we help our clients? So he said, okay, let's start an initiative that does not necessarily take too much time because people are busy, but let's call it a lunch and learn. Then within the lunch and learn, we bring in people from different spheres of influence. We bring in marketers, we bring in IT people, we bring in, I think from the one that you're talking about, you brought in a person was how to bring the employees together, how do you motivate, how to implement leadership skills. So we do that. So we said, okay, I think in that area now we are in a position to assist them even in different areas that we don't necessarily have the expertise. So through that, some of the problems that our clients have, they are actually going to be solved, because if they are having challenges with marketing, how do why am I making losses? I don't know how to make a profit. Maybe your marketing has got a problem. Bring in a marketing in the lunch and learn, and then they'll show you how things are done. Yes, I know I'm making profits, but I don't think I'm doing it to the level I'm supposed to do because I don't have the right people in place. Okay, let's bring in a human resource or a personal skill, a people's skills expert to bring in and give you can manage your team. Another one might say, yes, all those things, I have them in place, but IT, I don't even know what needs to be put in place. Which type of computers, which type of processes should I have in place? Okay, let's bring in an IT guru to also share what are the platforms, how do you move your processes from one place to the other. So through that, we are bringing a variety of people. So it becomes a one-stop shop. Instead of coming in and learning only about financial statements, you are now learning about marketing, you are learning about finance, you are learning about IT, you are learning about investing, for example. And then the other time we brought in a person who was talking about, okay, your financials are in order. How do you apply for loans? That's another area. How do you apply for loans? What do banks look for? What do you need to? So now this person now is bringing to the position now of actually allowing a person to bring to actually move their business to the next level. So that is the objective of the lunch and learn. We host it every month, and then we bring in different type of people. So the next one that we are going to be hosting on is actually the digital. The digital marketing, where a person, a digital expert is going to be explaining the importance of digital marketing in the business space. Wow.
That's wonderful. I did enjoy the one that I attended. I didn't know that I can have lunch and learn at the same time and be with a group of people and exchange information and learn a lot. So, Coach, I know that it is not easy to manage finances if you lack discipline. Right? It requires planning, budgeting, action, administration, which you come, like when we do administration, I know that when it comes to chartered accountants, they want reports, accountability, and all that. So describe the most successful financial strategy you have developed that is most challenging.
Okay, so I think from how I can look at it, I'll look at it from a business that is still starting, but I've seen that even established businesses have not really come up with a successful process, if I can put it that way. So the most important part of actually managing your business is record keeping. So everything needs a backup when it comes to your finances. So if you don't have the right documents in place, or if you don't know what is happening within your finances because you don't have the records in place, you see that you have a lot of challenges in terms of actually analyzing your business to the next. So record keeping is key. So if you have noticed, if you are dealing with SARS, when they say there's an audit, what do they ask for? Please provide us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. That's record keeping. So if you don't have that information, even if it was going to be a refund, that means you have lost out. If it was actually a claim to say you are supposed to pay us 100,000, that means you are going to find yourself finding means and ways of paying an amount that you don't have because you didn't keep the right records. So to me, that is the starting point. Have the records in place. Maintain your records. So now the good thing now with the coming of the COVID, I think everything virtual. There's been a development of a lot of virtual platforms where you can actually save your documents. So that one is actually people now to say it's easy. Now you just quickly check in instead of going through the folder or the file. But whatever, depending with the nature of the business, because sometimes you might not be in a position to actually acquire that type of a system because of cost or maybe because of the stage where your business is. So what I can say is find means and ways of making sure that whatever you do, however you transact, make sure that you've got somewhere where you are keeping that information so that at least when you are analyzing your records, you know exactly where your money is going and you know exactly how to manage your finances. And comes into place because you have the evidence of what actually happened. Not to say, you know what, I spent 30,000 or 10,000, but I don't know what I actually did with it. So in that case now, how do you plan? If it was a waste, how do you avoid it? What you actually did with the money. So record keeping, I would say, is the most important part before you go anywhere else. Start with the proper record keeping in place. If the record keeping is in order, I assure you everything else will fall into place.
Okay, I hear you when you speak about record keeping. What exactly are we record keeping? What is it that needs to be recorded in a business?
Okay, so what needs to be recorded in a business, unfortunately, it's each and every transaction that you do. You need to have a backup. So if you go to the filling station and you paid for fuel, that slip, we need it. If you took out the team for a lunch, we need those receipts or those or whatever you get. If you go and buy some groceries, we need. So practically everything. There's nothing really that one is not relevant, this one is relevant. We need all the receipts or invoices in specifically for the business. So any transaction, if there's any backup, then you are good to go. So even if you end up spending, for example, for business owner, sometimes you end up spending your own money, not necessarily the business card, maybe because the business doesn't have funds, you're actually paying on behalf of the business. That one is also necessary. So just because you have used your own money to pay for the business owes you. Remember, the business and the business owners two separate entities, if I can put it that way. So the minute you pay for your business, the business should actually pay you back when the business is in intent to pay back. So it's like a debt. So how would the business know that you owe it? The supporting documents should be there as well. So it's practically everything when it comes to record keeping.
Okay. So as a business owner, let's say I've spent 50,000 and with my own money, and I was investing it in the business, and now the business owes me. How do we transact that? Do I need to? Yes. Okay. You can answer it.
Okay, so in that case, when you are actually paying for the business, then it becomes a loan. It can be called a director's loan or a shareholder's loan, depending with the nature or your relationship with the business. So that one, obviously, from the accounting point of view, we process our journals to make sure that that transaction gets into the books of the business. Because remember, it didn't come through the bank account of the business, so you won't see it anyway. So it needs to come in somewhere. So from the accounting point of view, we need to bring it through as a journal to make sure that everything has been put in the business, and the business is aware, so that, you know what, Khensani paid for us, paid 50,000 for this, for furniture for us. So it's a loan. We need financial stable.
Okay, so what if it takes too long for me to get that 50,000 back?
Yeah, but remember now, in this situation now, it's a bit different and unique in the sense that what is happening now is, remember, when you've got a business, you've got a structure in the direction of saying, by this time I want to move my business to this level. By this time I need to move my business to this level. So now obviously you are pushing your business, because my understanding is you are pushing your business to the level where now you believe that the business is going to be sustainable at this level. So only then the business will be in a position to pay you. So unfortunately, as much as you and the are separate, but at the same time, it's one person driving both entities. So for you to get your money back, that means you need to work hard from the business point of view for you to be able to get refunded for whatever you injected in the business.
Because when it comes to business, things, they don't work out like as we planned. Like, I will come to you and just give you my business goals, my business finances, my revenues, and all that, and tell you that this is where I want to be in the next 6 months. However, how the business is going to play out, it might not be the same as I've planned, right? Due to the nature of the business that I'm doing at the moment. And you'll find that, let's say, my business now, like currently, I'm living with like, it's from hand to mouth. Like, I render services, and when the invoice is paid, immediately I need to pay employees, pay expenses, and the debts that I have, and all that. And let's say after 7 days, the business doesn't have anything in the bank. All the money is gone. And something happens during the month. Let's say I don't even afford petty cash. I don't even afford it. And we need suppliers during the month. Then I, again, as the owner, and I loan the business, right? Then I loan the business. Remember, the business still owes me 50,000, and now the business needs another 20,000 for suppliers. So how do we work around those companies? Because I know that you're working with different entities. Some companies have enough capital, they have enough money in their accounts. Some, they running from hand to mouth. What is your approach regarding that?
That one, unfortunately, everything rests now on the owner of the business, because at the end of the day, you are the driver of your business to move it to the next level. So in that case now, the accountant, unfortunately, there's nothing that they can really do. Maybe the only assistance you can be offered is, okay, how can you get funded from the bank? I think that's the only. But in terms of actually driving, that's why I'm saying now, in that respect, now when you look to, that is where strategy comes into place. How do I market my business for me to generate enough income, so that I'm not in a position of every time I have to fund my business? How do I position my business properly to make sure that at least I can generate more income? So that now is more on a strategy point of view from the perspective of the owner. It's no longer the part of the accountant to say, accountant, how can you assist me? Because now it's your strategy. How are you getting your clients? How are you building your platform? How are you moving? What is your plan in you starting the business? Because I believe when you started your business with an objective and a mission, this is what I need to do. By this level, I should be generating 2 million. By this level, I should be generating 5 million. What are you doing to get to that level? So that's where the marketing comes in different experts that I was talking about come into place, that we actually bring in from the lunch and so that at least they will share now ideas on how you can build your business. Because at the end of the day, you cannot keep on funding the business. You should come to a point where the business now is in a position to fund itself.
That's so true. So how do you guide them through tough times or through tough situations, like the past 2 years when we were in the COVID stage and all businesses are closed and all that? How did you manage to help your clients to go through that?
So this one, like I was explaining, I think it becomes more of a, obviously, for example, from the accounting point of view, is to analyze maybe, let's say, your management accounts and see, okay, in terms of your expenses, some of the expenses that you are spending, do you really need spending them? So maybe let's cut off some of the expenses that we've been spending. Okay, when it comes to the revenue is very low. What are the processes, or what are the strategies that we've put in place to make sure that at least your business can grow? So now it becomes more like a strategic positioning or a strategic discussion that we are looking at. Okay, let's look at your finances right now. You cannot afford to have lunches every Friday like what you used to do before COVID, for example. Let's look at the maybe every Friday we used to have cake in the office. Let's cut on that one. Or and then from there, what are the expenses maybe that we are supposed to, because remember, expenses is not really a bad thing. It depends with some of the expenses spending. So if you're not investing in any way in your marketing, maybe let's try to look for marketing strategies that can help you, not really expensive, or maybe something that is a bit more cheaper that we can engage maybe to bring us more business. And in that case now, if they want to take it to the next level, then maybe you can actually bring in those experts that are actually experts in the field of marketing their business, and then they'll also share with them on how they can move to the next level. So it becomes more of a strategy point of guidance, but obviously generated from the financial position of the business based on what is actually being shown on your management accounts or your financial statements. But then each and every line item now, who is it affecting and how can it be addressed? So some clients, some companies ended up cutting their salaries. That's another part.
Yeah.
Some companies ended up saying, we are not going to cut, we are actually going to relieve some of the employees. Where they used to have 5 employees, let's work with 2 for now. So those are the strategies that can be put in place. And then, okay, if we're not really focusing in this niche, in this area, maybe let's also market our products in this area and see what happens. Maybe you used to just to specialize maybe with a specific industry. Maybe let's also market to other industries as well and see what is the impact it's going to have on our business. So that's how the finances will come into place. Because when you look at the financial statements or the management accounts, there are figures, yes, but then you find that a lot of factors that are non-financial actually generate those figures at the end. Like, do you have the right person for the job? Because if you don't have the right person for the job, what is the risk wastage? The assignments are not done in time, you are losing clients. That revenue goes down. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay, do we have... okay, so let's look at how we are doing our things. We are always losing information. What is the impact? We don't have processes in place. So let's make sure that we have the right process in place. For example, do you have procedure manuals? For example, if a new person comes in, do you need to spend 5 hours, 5 days training them? Let's have a backup of a procedure manual so that even if we train this person, but afterwards, if there's a problem, they can always go back to the procedure manuals and get direction on how to do this. Now you're improving efficiency, because now the time that you are taking to do a job, if you used to do 5 days, you can actually end up doing it in a day, because your processes now, you've implemented efficiency processes in your business. So as much as at the end we just see figures, but the figures at the back, they are being fed by non-financial factors that we now need to analyze in detail, and that's how we can help businesses, like the example that you gave. So they are losing, they no longer have the number of clients that they used to have. What should you do? Okay, even the employees that you have, do you really need to have 5 employees? Sometimes it's an efficiency. Sometimes it's an efficiency issue. It has nothing to do because you can find yourself with 50 employees, but then in another organization, only 2 employees can do that job, but they still get the same results. So those are things that you now need to analyze, and that's how we help our clients now to say, okay, let's look at each line item on your books. What does that mean? Who is behind that figure, or what is behind that figure, which is not necessarily the financial thing, but who is generating that figure? And then let's analyze it and see how we can help you.
Wow. So how do you build a relationship with your clients?
Okay, so I think from the accounting point of view, it's trust. There's trust. I believe trust is the most important thing. You need to build trust. How do you build trust? Make sure that the work that you do is up to scratch. Make sure that you're in a position to solve problems. Like I mentioned earlier, at the end of the day, we can do management accounts, we can do whatever, but are we solving a problem? Because by the time we present management accounts, it's already in the history. But now the business is moving forward. What have you, from that, what problem have you solved so that at least the business can grow further or can manage some of the challenges that it's facing so that it can move to the next level. So that's how we build relationships. Are we really interested in giving them value? So there's value creation. And that value creation ultimately builds trust. The minute you build a trust with the client, that's how you sustain that relationship, and that's how the client will grow with you to the next level.
Yeah, that's so true. I do agree with you when you speak about trust, because we're speaking about finances here. So we really need to agree on a lot of things. So describe how you handled a demanding client. I know when it comes to this.
Yeah, this one is an interesting one.
Yeah.
But what we do, like within our organization, what we do is we do a lot of personal development, because I believe if you want to move, you need personal development as an individual or as a company or as a team.
Absolutely.
So we do a lot of personal development. When you do personal development, when I'm talking about personal development, I'm not just looking at do I know how to prepare financial statements, but do you understand personalities? Are you in a position to understand different personalities that you work with and how to deal with those different personalities? So if you are equipped to deal,
you may proceed.
Okay, so that's, I believe that's the understand your clients. And how do you understand it? Sometimes you just need to do personality tests in personal development, and also learn. And also another aspect that we cannot really run away from: learn to do your job well. Because if you know how to do your job well, no matter how difficult the client is, but if your quality is up to scratch, you see that you manage a lot of problems along the way.
Yeah.
And if you also understand the personality of the client, you know exactly how to deal with that specific personality. In the relationship, I believe it will actually grow to the next level in a positive manner, not the other way around.
Yeah. So, okay, what will you do if they pushed you to act unethically?
So as we've got values, I believe that's the importance of having values in an organization. And when you have values, you know who you deal with and who you are not going to deal with, because at the end of the day, you need to uphold your values. So our values include integrity, there's also an element as well of actually making sure that our values align with our regulatory boards. As well, we report to EBA, we report to SAICA. So at the end of the day, if we see that the client actually wants us not to go the other direction, unfortunately, we just go back to our values and ask ourselves, who do we stand for and who are we? And then from there, we make a decision.
Yeah, I hear you. So, yeah. Finances are so challenging, and I know that it's not easy most of the time, because we as entrepreneurs, we want to do what we want with our money, and we lack the discipline of following your guidance as chartered accountants, as auditors, as accountants or bookkeepers. We always want to do things our own way, and then whenever we meet SARS, that's when we want to come back with a lot of files, and we need help so that we can get through SARS. So what was the most challenging client you have worked with? You might not mention the name, but mention the challenge. What was the challenge that you came across?
Oh yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think when it comes to issues like your SARS and different regulatory bodies, I don't think anyone is prepared to pay what is due. Especially, I think a lot of SMEs, when they look at the fees, they feel like it's their hard-earned money. So why should I pay? But at the end of the day, it's a regulatory requirement, and if they don't if they don't pay what is due to them at the end of the day, to come back to buy them. So from experience, I've seen that clients that are compliant, they do very well. Clients that go in corners, it comes back to catch up with them. That's what I've noticed. So I think when it comes to compliance, there's no shortcut. You just have to find what it means in ways of making sure that at least what you are supposed to pay, not necessarily honest, because I know there are some organizations, they've got regulatory bodies as well, where they pay subscriptions. If you structure your things properly, you see that, and you pay what is due, you see that the business actually grows. And from experience, I've seen that most clients that are very successful, they in terms of compliance, it's very key. To manage that area well. Yeah,
that's good. And if one will want you as their accountant, what are the requirements?
Okay, so each and every case is different, just like each and every client has got different needs. So obviously what we do is we get to understand what are the needs of the client, and also what is the position of the client, what is their objective, why do they want this specific service, and also just to get a general understanding of how they operate. And then from there, that's when now we'll be in a position now to determine how we can offer the services that they offer in a way that is customized to them.
And when it comes to reporting, do you require someone in the business?
But remember, at the end of the day, I think that's what I was explaining earlier, to say at the end of the day, the business is yours, Khensani. And for you to move it to the level where you want to move it to, it's your responsibility. So now it's up to you to say, I have this person that is assisting me, maybe discuss with them on some of the aspects. But it is critical that at the end of the day, even if I'm sitting with their bookkeeper or whoever, at the end of the day, you internally, you have those meetings where you go through the documents or the report, whatever, to ensure that you are also in alignment with your bookkeeper in what they are doing, so that you can actually structure your business and plan. Yes.
Yeah.
So as much as we can get helpers, But I think at the back of our minds, we should always know that at the end of the day, we have the because we don't have the time, we can get another person to do things for us, but create time to actually get to understand what they are doing.
Okay.
Because you don't want to be shocked at the end of the day when you thought you were making profits and only to see that you are actually making losses. But because you're not really paying attention to it, by the time you realize it, maybe it's too late for you to make any adjustments to it or any corrections.
Okay. I hear you. So we are going to the end of our show. We're still talking to Brenda regarding business finances. If you have any question, kindly leave it in the comment section. We will engage with you and ask any questions. And now Brenda is going to give us the details of her business, how to reach her, and where can we connect with her. So keep on bringing those questions in, and then Brenda will return the answers anytime she gets time. And I'll be also online on the comment sections to help those who want to get in contact with Brenda, because I know that when it comes to business finance, if you don't have discipline, if you don't have financial management, and like Brenda said earlier, if you don't have personal development, when it comes to this, you are going to fail yourself, because it starts with you as a person. And then from there, it will be easy for you to grow your small business if you know how to manage your personal finances. Brenda, please let the viewers and the listeners know where to find you.
All right. So for more information about our company and the services that we offer, you can go to our website. It's www.badvisory.co.za. And we are also on LinkedIn. So it's B Advisory ZA. That's on our LinkedIn one. And then for a direct contact with me, it's Brenda at b-advisory.co.za, or our landline is 010-054-7270, or my cell phone is 060-458-5362.
Thank you, Brenda. And another question that I have for you. What will be your advice to those who want to start businesses and the ones who are currently struggling with their finances in the business, and the ones who are looking for funding to start a business?
Okay, so for looking at the three types. Okay, let me start with the one that are about to start their business. So the one that are about to start with their business, I think the advice I can give to them is be clear. I believe I call it clarity. You should have clarity of who you are and why did you start your business and where are you going with that business. Because if you are clear, then that means the people that you are going to be working with, that be it your employees or your clients, they remember they buy in your vision. They don't lead you. You are the one who is supposed to be driving. So if you are clear, you see that a lot of things will actually become easy for you. I think we gave an example of ethics. Already it's coming from a person who is clear who they are and who they stand for. So when a warning sign comes, it's easy for them to identify it and say, no, when it comes to my business, I don't deal with situations like this. And then for those that are struggling financially with their businesses, I think in that respect, before you even look for the finances, or before you even look for the loan for you to, I think it's a matter as well of going back again to the drawing board and really understand what led you to this level. What could have been the reason why you are at this level? And then from there, identify areas of that needs to be learned, and areas that needs to be developed, and areas that need to be changed or improved. And then it's also clarity as well. Because if you are not sure what caused you to be at this position, even if I give you 1 million, the following day you lose it again. You come back again, now need again the million again. But if you are clear, that's why banks ask for proposals, because they want to see if you are clear of what you want. They want to see if you are clear of where you are going, and they want to be clear of what is your vision and how do you plan to pay over what you are actually about to loan. So I believe it's also about clarity, going back to the drawing board. What can I do better? What can I improve? Only then, when you are clear of what needs to happen, then maybe you can start looking at, okay, so who can loan me some money? Or where can I go to get more assistance? Sometimes for you to get back to where you are, sometimes it's not even a matter of going to the bank. Maybe it's a matter of you just speaking to a few people, and then from there you get a big project. Not really big, maybe get a few projects, and then from the projects they build until you can actually be in a position to actually build your business again. But only that can happen if you understand where are the areas that needs to be improved. Otherwise, you'll be knocking the bank's door all the time, not realizing that the issue is not the bank. The issue is you not clear what you want to do with your business.
Yeah.
So that's the one. And then the third one, you said the third type is which one?
The ones who have the one now I forgot which one you were answering now. Which one you were answering?
The one who are struggling. I was answering about the ones that are struggling financially.
Okay. So the ones who are looking for funding to start a business was the last one.
Okay, so it's the same one with the one that are struggling. Because at the end of the day, why are you looking for funding? In this, okay, but obviously, like, I think sometimes the looking for funding does not necessarily mean you are struggling. Maybe you there's a big project that you want to start. But I think, for me, the answer is still the same. Why are you looking for funding? For what purpose? And for that funding, what are you going to do with it? And how is it? So it's a matter of the looking at, okay, the rate of return. When you get the funding, what are you going to do? Are you going to be in a better position, or you're going to go back again and look for the fund? Because I know it's never a good thing to get funding for normal day-to-day expenses. It's to get funding for projects, to go get into. So the question is still the same. Are you clear why you need the funds? Are you clear where you are in your business? Are you clear what do you need to do with the funding? And are you clear of your vision and mission of the business in total? So that at least when you get the fund, you know what needs to happen with that money and receive the best. You can fully maximize what you would have maybe received from that application that done. Because where you are going, they also have the same questions as well, to say why exactly do you need it, for what purpose. So be clear as well before you even go to the extent of sending your application.
Wow. Oh, yeah. So, Coach, what does success look like to you?
Wow, that's an interesting question. I think success, sure. I think to me, success, it goes beyond having financial backing. I don't know if that's the best way to use it, but I think when you're looking at finance, success, you're looking at you being fully maximizing yourself in all the spheres of your life and your business. Be it as an individual, physically, are you successful? Financially, are you successful? Recreational, are you successful? Family, are you successful? Because you can have a lot of money in the bank account, but being broke when it comes to your family. So for me, success is not just a bank account. It's looking at all the spheres of your business. How are you fully maximize them to the extent of you having the best out of yourself?
I hear you. What a wonderful answer. Yeah, success means a lot of things to different people, and some see success when they acquire material stuff. Some see success when they are fulfilled, because success also comes with fulfillment. So like I said, now we are going to we are at the end of our show, and Coach, give us the quote of the day. What advice do you want to leave the viewers and the listeners with?
I think the advice that I can give to the viewers tonight is never give up on your dreams, and you have everything. You have everything that is required for you to go beyond your wildest dreams. So resilience and believing in yourself, it's of importance if you need to make a change and make a difference in people's lives.
Absolutely. I love that. Absolutely, Coach. And thank you so much, Brenda, for coming through tonight and availing yourself in your busy schedule to come and educate us when it comes to business finance, because I know a lot of us in businesses, when it comes to that department, it's a serious struggle. We don't always follow the rules. We just do what we want to do with our money, and at the end of the day, it kills our business. We don't grow at all because we don't comply in most cases. So thank you so much for coming through and give us this info regarding our small businesses. How can we grow them? Things that we need to follow, things that we need to look into. It was very informative, and I'm honored and humbled that you managed to come through. And I believe that all the viewers and the listeners were there to also take notes and to learn more from our conversation. So from me, Khensani, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And I will see you again next week, Tuesday. And remember to be kind all the time. Take care of yourself, exercise, do personal development each and every day. It's very important for you to work on yourself and to work on your personal development, and make sure that you keep on learning each and every day. So I'll see you guys again next week, Tuesday. Coach Brenda, thank you so much for coming through, and have a lovely evening. And I love you guys. Good night.